A single afternoon changed everything. A moment that began with energy and voices colliding in debate, but ended in tragedy, leaving the world stunned and the MMA community grappling with emotions few could put into words. Because while fighters live in a world of combat, where the clash of wills and the sting of violence are routine, what happened was something far outside the octagon. Something that broke every code of honor and discipline fighters are taught to live by, and the reactions that followed from some of the sport's most recognized names painted a picture of heartbreak, disbelief, and reflection. Aljamain Sterling, the former bantamweight champion known for his precision inside the cage and sharp mind outside of it, spoke with clarity when he said that no matter the differences between people, violence was never the answer, emphasizing that debate and disagreement are signs of humanity, while taking a life over opinions is something darker. Words that resonated deeply. Because coming from a man who has survived battles at the highest level, they carried weight. Colby Covington, the controversial welterweight contender who built his career on relentless pace and bold statements, also weighed in. But this time his tone was stripped of bravado, calling for prayers, unity, and reflection, highlighting the loss of a family member, a leader, and most importantly, a human being, reminding his audience that beneath all the noise of rivalry and competition, the core of life is family and community. Then came Sean Strickland, the unfiltered former middleweight champion whose honesty often shocks as much as it reveals, admitting that he felt numb to tragedy because of how often the world is exposed to death and violence through screens, saying that society is being chipped away piece by piece, desensitized one viral video at a time, a raw take that wasn't polished or comforting but brutally honest. And in that honesty, many found a reflection of their own unease. Around the world, fighters from different gyms and weight classes echoed the same mixture of sorrow and frustration, posting tributes that showed how even in a sport built on controlled violence, there is still a deep respect for life and an understanding that combat sports are meant to stay within the cage, where rules, referees, and mutual respect define the battle. Unlike the chaos of real-world violence where there are no bells to end the round and no taps to stop the suffering, the timing of the tragedy shook the MMA world even more because fighters were preparing for a major international event, an arena buzzing with anticipation for a night of competition. Yet in the locker rooms, the energy shifted as news spread. Fighters who had trained for war suddenly found themselves reflecting on life's fragility, and one fighter summed it up simply when he said, "The real fights aren't always in the cage." A sentiment that rippled across the roster from rising prospects to battle-hardened veterans. Fans also took to social media, turning the tragedy into a storm of comments, some praising the victim's courage, others condemning the culture of violence itself, but all agreeing on one unshakable truth: this should never have happened. And while debates raged on, the MMA community stood out because its members, used to thriving in controversy and conflict, spoke with rare unity against the senselessness of what occurred. Sterling's call for peace, Covington's plea for unity, and Strickland's warning about a society losing its humanity each represented a different way of processing grief. Yet together they formed a chorus that transcended rivalry and division, showing that beneath every fighter's armor is a human being who understands loss. For fans, the contrast between the octagon and the outside world became clear, because in the cage violence has structure, it has purpose, it has rules. And at the end of the night, opponents embrace knowing they pushed each other to the limit but survived, while real-world violence has none of those guardrails, no referee to step in, no bell to call time, and no way to undo the damage once it's done. This tragedy served as a chilling reminder that while MMA is about discipline, respect, and survival, the real fight beyond the sport is for humanity itself. And as the days passed, the community didn't just move on. It carried the weight of the loss as a warning and as motivation, knowing that fighters are more than just athletes. They are voices, leaders, and in moments like these, mirrors reflecting society's struggles, reminding us all that though the octagon teaches resilience and courage, it also teaches respect for life. And when that respect is broken, the pain cuts deeper than any punch, kick, or submission ever could.